Kind of. Enough. There we go. Very good. Very good. Very good. I hope you all had some great conversations and had the chance to meet with the candidates and take a moment to dive into all of the posters that we have about the room that really sort of put into context the existing conditions of our streets. And again, thank you all for being here, and we're going to run through all of the candidates once again. And without further ado, Anthony, please show.
Thanks, Mike. All right, now we are going to have another chance to hear directly from each of the 6 candidates that are here tonight. Just so everybody's aware, there are 9 people running for 3 Asheville City Council seats. And we're going to go in reverse order this time. So we will start out with Keith Young.
Thank you. I've been your Asheville City Council member since 2015. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be able to serve you as a representative on City Council. Again, like I said earlier, since being on City Council, we've paved more roads, built more sidewalks, refurbished more parks and recreation facilities, put more money into affordable housing than any other time in the city's recent history. And I want to continue doing that work. I want to continue doing what I believe is an effective job as a council member, making sure that we serve everyone in the city. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you're white or black, if you're rich or poor, if you're rent or you're owning. I want to be able to continue to do the job that puts forth a better quality of life for every single citizen and individual in the city of Asheville. And as it pertains to transportation issues, our only barrier to making these things happen sometimes are money, but also your voices being able to speak up and come to council meetings and tell us what you want. The individual things that are going on in your neighborhoods, like I talked with a couple of people who talked about speed issues in their neighborhoods, and that's what being a city council member is about, being able to be responsive to people and being able to take care of the citizens of the city of Asheville. And I'm going to be able to continue doing my job, and I hope you'll be able to send me back. So I just want to say thank you, and I had a wonderful time talking to you, and please feel free to reach out, email me, or call me. My numbers are public, and my website address is electkeithyoung.com. So thank you all.
Thanks, Keith. It's great to know how to get in touch with each of you as well. And now we have Sage Turner. Thank you, everybody. You are a lively and informed bunch. So great questions at the table. I'll share with you some of my favorites. This one I heard a lot. Why does it take so long to get things done? Right? And who holds the purse strings? So it sounds like there is some confusion around when we're building greenways and doing projects. Is it the city? Is it the county? Is it DOT? And are we working together? This might have been one of my favorites. So in talking tonight, you've heard a lot of scary things, right? We tend to share scary information about how we're driving and how bicyclists are being impacted. And one of the questions was, is our messaging around this actually scaring people off from becoming cyclists themselves? Which I thought was interesting. And can we be more proactive in our messaging and encouraging people to use these resources and thereby increasing the population and funding and so on? So lots of talk tonight about how do we slow people down and are we actually walking the walk? And I wanted to share with you that in a recent study that is about to be published, we know that 77% of our Ashevillean population gets in their car and drives alone every day, whereas only 1.7% use transit. And that needs to flip, right? So I don't know how many of you drove here alone in your cars tonight, but think about not doing that tomorrow. So a little information about how you can find out more about me. I do have some information up here. My website is sageforasheville.com. I was very intentional about adding a lot of information, a lot of research, videos, questionnaires, all this Q&A. You can ask me things and I'll answer on there. But do check out the website. I've put a lot of time into educating voters in that way. I also have a pretty active Facebook page, Sage for Asheville again, and you can email me at sageforasheville@gmail.com.
Thank you, Sage. Now we have Shane McCarthy. again. Yeah, thank you all so much for being here and for sharing your questions and comments with me. I think one that really came up that was kind of interesting was like, who owns the roads? So we have roads owned by Asheville, owned by the city of Asheville, we have others by the Department of Transportation, which is a state agency. And a lot of times we have difficulty with those two things working together. People like to say, it's a DOT road, we can't do anything about it. Or it's so difficult to coordinate between these two agencies. I think it's a more matter of do we have a good relationship with that state agency that we can get things done on that road. That's what I've already done. That's what I told you about with the traffic signals on Belmore Avenue. That's a DOT road. So why don't we try someone who's worked at the DOT, actually works in the office building, like a few cubicles over from the people who do local coordination. I know those people have good relationships with them. So why don't you give me a shot? I'll get it done. So yeah, I'd like to just share some community endorsements that I have. I've been endorsed by Pancho Bermejo, who's the co-director of Beloved Asheville, by Brad Rouse, the director of Energy Savers Network, by Kathy Walsh, who's on the Tree Protection Board, and by Daniel Suber, who's an awesome community activist and youth coordinator at Word on the Street. I'm really honored to have the support of these community leaders. I hope I have your support as well, and I hope you elect me to City Council in 2020 on March 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and Richly, step on up.
Hey, all, thank you guys for coming out. This is really, I feel like this is my crowd. This is my 5th Asheville and Bikes Forum as a city council candidate, and so I feel after the first few tries, I feel like I got the hang of it. I'm reminded standing up here that, speaking of DOT roads, that Mike and I years ago worked on the first bike lane in all of West Asheville. I don't think we knew that 8 years later we would still be saying the only bike lane in all of West Asheville. But also, this is cool, check this out. The first green panel high visibility, that is not high visibility now, but high visibility bike lane on a state DOT road in North Carolina is this one over in West Asheville. I heard a lot of really cool questions, questions about the budget, about finding new funding sources, about speed and safety enforcement of our traffic laws and signage, about making better access to schools, but I heard a really cool one that sticks with me because I think about it a lot, and that is we're talking a lot about transportation projects like sidewalks and greenways and transit, and the city, to its credit, takes an equity focus to these where it's putting these in neighborhoods that are historically underserved. But these are also neighborhoods that are faced with rapid gentrification right now. And so we're facing this conflict of how do we provide services to neighborhoods that have been denied sidewalks, denied access to groceries and schools for so many years, and yet make sure that those benefits aren't only accruing to newer, wealthier, whiter arrivals. I think it's going to take a multi-pronged gentrification approach. The city actually has a model for this for Southside called the gentrification or anti-gentrification report. But I think we need to make sure that we're making all these amenities available to the historical lower income population. I'm Richly, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Kim Roney is heading out this way.
Minute time limit, right? Okay. My name is Kim Roney, and thank you again for coming out tonight. Climate change is the biggest public safety issue of our time, and we need each other to work together for more resilient neighborhoods and communities. Some things that I've heard from neighbors today is a concern for greenway funding and a downtown circulator with park and rides. I think that we're going to have to talk as a community about this false narrative about resource scarcity and really start resource mapping all of the resources we have. As a person who lives in Asheville, I also live in Buncombe County. So we're going to need to see coordinated efforts around planning for transit corridors so that folks can have the option to live close to where they work and get there to where they need to go without a car. I heard a lot about the Tourism Development Authority taxes, and I'm really surprised that I don't see more greenways and a downtown circulator that could look like a trolley, honoring Asheville's history of having a trolley that my great-great-aunt Faye used to use when she lived here. But I think that's a tremendous opportunity. We just need to come together. And speaking of coming together, whether it's red light cameras, red light cameras, yeah. So automatically ticketing people for bad behavior at red lights without an equity issue because it's not the car, not the people. I'm hearing you, but we need to all come together and make these demands. So I'm running with Nicole Townsend. We are proudly sharing the endorsement of Councilwoman Shanika Smith, Councilman Brian Haynes, Reverend Amy Cantrell, Equality NC, the WNC Labor Council, and the Sunrise Movement, as well as awesome folks like yourself who are ready to be about it being better. Please check out my website, kimroney4asheville.com.
Thanks, Kim. And Christy Goldsmith, come on up.
Alrighty, so first I want to thank Asheville on Bikes and Connect Buncombe for having us here this evening and for the opportunity to talk to all of you and for your awesome questions. I want to highlight a couple of things that I heard tonight. So first and foremost, I heard a lot of folks ask, but how do we pay for it? Right now, we can't even afford to fully pay for the first year of the Transit Master Plan. So how are we going to be able to afford to invest in all of these great things that we're talking about? And my response to that is simple. We can't afford not to. That's why I want to partner with Buncombe County to pool our resources on things like transit, because again, like Kim said, we're also Buncombe County residents, and Asheville's workers also live in Buncombe County, so for me it just makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. But I want to be clear with you about something else. As your next representative on City Council, I am going to be more assertive with the Tourism Development Authority, because it's not hard to imagine that the benefits of things like greenways and bike lanes benefit us, but they also benefit tourists. So a fully functioning multimodal transportation system will benefit all of those folks. I'm also going to fight for more mixed use, mixed income, and affordable housing development, and that includes housing development that is integrated with transit, because we all know that the defining element of a well-planned city are integrating transit and housing. I want you all to know that I am a former architect, so I not only understand the principles of responsible and sustainable development, but I also have the skills and experience to hold developers accountable in order to make sure that the types of development we're getting are the types that benefit all of those of us who live here and want to stay here long term. So I'm asking for your support. Again, I'm Kristen Goldsmith. You can find out more at my website. It's goldsmithforasheville.com. Thank you so much.
Let's give one more round of applause for all the candidates and for their thoughtful answers, and for taking questions, and for being willing to serve our city and our community. Thank all of you for coming out tonight. If you haven't already done early voting, again, voting is Tuesday, May 3rd for the North Carolina primary. Everybody knows this is a big year, y'all. So get out there and vote, and please get everyone else you know to vote. And these people in this room are the people who are going to affect your lives the most, because they are your local representatives. I'd like to thank Mike and Asheville on Bikes, Connect Buncombe, and of course the Wedgett Foundation. If you want to talk beer, I'll be around.
Thank you, everyone. I'm also a carnival barker, so I want to put in a giant plug for Bike Love this Saturday. Thursday, tonight, represents the deep dive into understanding the policy and the future leaders of Asheville. Saturday represents the passion and the fun of moving our city forward. We have tickets for sale with Joseph right over here. $25, 100% of the proceeds support the mission and the work of Asheville on Bikes. Thank you for coming out. Get some Bike Love tickets. Let's move our city forward.